Alright, bear with me guys. So coming in from the previous chapter, we saw Takaba taking on Kenjaku. And it eventually got to the point of where Kenjaku figured out what was going on with Takaba. He realized he is essentially manipulating reality with his curse technique through things that he personally finds funny. However, it is actually a detriment to himself since he's such an inept comic and he's not really aware of how his curse technique works anyway. And he winds up challenging Kenjaku to like a you laugh, you lose. And Kenjaku just annihilates him, of course, because he hits him with the Kabuki brain lift. Then he like literally hits him with like a right hook and basically breaks Takaba's will. Like has him questioning what he's even doing, questioning if he was even funny in the first place. Then he eventually comes across Hozonuki's dead body, because he was killed by Kenjaku in that previous chapter. And then we see Kenjaku coming across him, essentially about to kill him too, and Takaba realizes that. And he's like, why did I ever become an entertainer? And then I guess his life starts to flash before his eyes in this moment, because coming into this chapter, we are going into his flashback, which takes up the majority of the chapter. And I'm not really going to go over this too much because I'm not really that interested in it. Before I break it down, let me just say that if you do follow my channel, you know that I usually say things like, I wish this character had a backstory, or I wish we went more into this character, or I wish we understood their motivations better, or just more about them. So I'm not upset that that ever happened. I always think that's usually a good thing. However, it doesn't mean that just anything should suffice, And I just don't think Takaba's backstory is that interesting, and I don't think that this much panel time should be dedicated to it. For example, other culling game participants like Kashimo and Ryu, rest in peace, my boy, they got like, 2 or 3 panels maybe dedicated to their backstories, which was fine. We got the gist of what was going on with them. Maybe they didn't really need that depth to them. And I don't think Takaba needs that much as well, considering that he is just like a normal dude. I think, just like a couple panels would have sufficed in us understanding like what was going on with him. But considering that Gege is giving Takaba way more screen time than I thought with this backstory, it could mean that he's going to be much more of a significant character than what we originally thought. And I think that's fine. But I just hope that Gege decides to give this much attention to the Heian era if we ever get that flashback, because it would be straight up like criminal if he goes this hard on Takaba and then like we never see like the Heian era stuff, at least extended. But fingers crossed, I'm pretty sure we're gonna get like a Heian era arc. But anyway, long story short, I guess we're going back to like Takaba's college years, because it says like an average university. So I guess he's like taking some kind of comedy class or creative writing or improv class. I don't know. He's doing something. I don't know how that stuff works in Japan. But he does have a friend with him. A friend that he honestly doesn't deserve. And the whole dichotomy here is that the friend is living like a normal college student life. He's going out, having fun, drinks, messing around with people romantically. And Takaba's not. Takaba's like a psycho. He's like crazy focused and dedicated on being a comedian, despite being absolutely terrible and having no talent at all. And he's like berating and putting down his friend for like trying to have a normal life and socialize and have fun and everything, and not like 100% dedicating himself to being a failed comic. And before I go further, let me just say that like I get the narrative here. I totally understand it. I'm sure this is like super common in Japan, especially with what happens to Takaba eventually, with him becoming like hikikomori kind of. And I'm not putting down the message here. I totally think that if you do have a dream or a passion or a desire, you should definitely go after it and just keep pursuing it. Because like, what else are you gonna do? Are you just gonna fall into being like a cog in the wheel? And there's like nothing wrong with that and being comfortable in your life and everything and just settling, but that's just not for everybody, such as with the case with Takaba, even if you are delusional about it. But there has to be a point where you realize your limitations. Unfortunately, we are not Saiyans. We do have limits, despite what battle manga has told us throughout our lives. And it's okay to adjust your goals for maybe ones that are more realistic and less grandiose. As where Takaba did not do that. He just kept going, kept grinding, but aimlessly grinding. Grinding that gives you no progression. And we eventually see him, like I said, become a hikikomori, like a shut-in, never leaving his house. His apartment winds up looking like Togashi's fused with Saitama's. And, we see the classic Pink Floyd time narrative here, where 10 years have gone by, or I'm assuming 10 years. We see like a PS 2003 here. I don't know, it could be like 2006 or something, or 2008. Maybe it's 10 years before the current time in the story, so Takaba's like 26 or something. I don't know. But real quick, guys, Gamer Subs has a new flavor, and it's straight up called Lean. So now you can take your very own walk to Poland with Gamer Subs. And apparently it tastes like peach tea and lemonade, and it creates like a new flavor. Like, this is probably the best Gamer Subs flavor. And also it has a great little Joey B graphic on the front, guys. That's always fun. And since this is the wok, you can't just enjoy it with a single waifu cup. You gotta double stack them, because you know that's the thing that you do with Lean, right? So guys, if you're interested in getting literally the best Gamer Subs flavor, check the link in the description and make sure you use code BIGZ for 10% off. Keep walking out there, guys. He realizes that can make people laugh, but it's eventually still getting him nowhere. And yeah, he becomes lonely as a result, and he eventually starts talking to like the younger version of himself in like this dream sequence where he says, I became a comedian because I wanted everyone to get to know me better. But he also has like this crazy, I want to be the Pirate King dream of making 100% of people laugh at a joke, which Gege is putting forth here that that's kind of impossible. And I get what he's saying, but like, to be honest, I don't think it's that uncommon to make every single person in a room laugh. Now, making them genuinely laugh, that's a different discussion. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can just laugh because it was infectious, or they laughed because they didn't want to be rude. So technically you can get 100 people out of a room to laugh, but I guess maybe he's putting forth genuinely, like making them actually laugh. I just still don't think it's as impossible as a task that Gege is putting forth here. But Takaba also realizes that he wasn't confronting the laughs head on. Somewhere along the way, he stopped taking comedy seriously because he didn't want to get hurt. And that's another thing that a lot of us fall into. We don't want to take that risk. You know, we can keep hyping ourselves up in our mind, giving us that nice little dopamine hit that, yeah, we're gonna make it. I'm gonna have romance in my life, and I'm gonna make money, and I'm gonna stop procrastinating, I'm gonna stop being lazy. But then it's like, you don't want to take the risk because it's scary. And that's what's happened with Takaba here. And having this realization, he finally comes back to reality here, facing off against Kenjaku, who, you know, was walking him down about to kill him. And he hits Kenjaku with, I guess, the perfect dogaza. Now, a dogaza is something that Japanese people do when they are like extremely sorry or filled with remorse. I don't know, Google it, but they like bow down, and it's like a big deal to them. Like, it really is a sign of like, they're not messing around. They're very serious about this. Like, you don't just casually dogaza. And Takaba is doing like the ultimate dogaza, as to where he's essentially manipulating reality so that he can become a literal Fibonacci sequence. And we see that this display is affecting Kenjaku and making him alter his own thoughts. Or he's like, what stellar form, true prostration. It took me until my late 20s to reach such a level. So wait, what am I saying? And that's the first time we've ever seen Kenjaku get psyched out like that in his own mind. It's one thing that we saw before with him getting like confused and a little psyched out by Takaba's abilities initially, but we've never seen his inner monologue being altered. So this is just further showing how powerful Takaba can really be. Like, if he had full control over his powers, I'm pretty sure he can end the series. And I'm not even joking. Just think about it. But we can't get that far because, you know, then the series would be over. So he kind of has to lose here, or whatever is going to happen, because he agrees with what Kenjaku's criticisms were before. And he's like, you know what, you're right. I should take everyone in consideration. Because before he would say, I don't care if you don't think it's funny as an individual, it only matters if everyone else does. And he's like, you know what, you're right. I shouldn't think like that. But however, I'm not going to stop thinking that I should make 100 out of 100 people laugh. I don't care if I'm stubborn, I'm going to do it because I'm going to become the Hokage. No, but what he actually says is, which is why I'll make you laugh so hard you puke your guts up. That's my brand of comedy. And Kenjaku's like, oh, all right, let's see you try, big boy. And I'm thinking that this is literally going to happen, right? Takaba declaring this and considering that he has the ability to do essentially whatever he wants, I guess this is going to happen. And what is the result of that? Not really sure. I don't think it's going to kill Kenjaku. I'm sure he has thousands of ways that he can heal himself, not just through reverse curse technique. I'm sure he can use the curses that he has through Geto's ability to, you know, help him with gut spilling. But I don't know why I feel this way. I have no evidence to support this. I have nothing. It's just like a gut feeling. I don't know why I feel it, but it's possible that Kenjaku like takes over Takaba's body and that's like his new vessel, and then he just starts using Takaba's ability. And I know that conflicts with like what I said previously about how Takaba in theory could end the series. So for sure, if Kenjaku had a grip on that, then he would surely end the series, because I don't think anybody would be able to stop that ability. I guess with domain amplification, you could fight against this for sure, right? Because that's like the hockey of JJK. You can just shut down devil fruit ability or curse techniques with that. So you would have to come prepared. You'd have to know who you're facing and that they have this comedian ability. And then I guess you would just destroy them. I mean, if you were strong enough. So it's kind of like, you gotta know. So it's not impossible, but it just makes me think back to when Kenjaku was talking about like, you know, that big curse amalgamation that he's going to make with a fusion of Tengen and all the people in Japan. Like, he was like, wouldn't it be funny if it had a goofy face? And it's like, are you a freaking comedian, Kenjaku? I mean, you are funny and pretty charismatic, but are you a freaking comedian? I don't know. But I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Takaba here. I hope he doesn't die. I mean, I would be pissed if he dies simply because we had to go through this chapter. It's like we gotta sit through his backstory just for him to die, which Gege totally could do, but I guess he's not going to. I'm pretty sure he's gonna live at this point. I don't think he's gonna kill Kenjaku, because obviously Kenjaku is probably gonna get killed by Akotsu, or, you know, in 50 chapters or whatever. But let me know what you think about this chapter in the comments, guys. If you like the video, please give it a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.